I've got here on my table right now is all my art supplies, of course. And I don't mean all, I just mean some of the art supplies that I regularly use, like my little watercolor palette, this one. It came with 12 colors, but the extra ones I put in there because I had them extra and they fitted in there, and I've grown used to using them. The other thing I love using, and you might have seen me using that, are coloring pencils. Now, normally I use the Faber-Castell, these ones, and I've limited myself to using literally these 5 colors for quite some time. And you can see they've really been used. If you compare them to a brand new pencil, for example, they have definitely been used. So I use this to draw and sketch, and I prefer this because the other, like lead pencils or graphite, usually smudges, and I don't like that. Now, I don't mind pencil marks in my book where you can see where I develop the design or develop the character. And the color helps to soften that. So, thereby giving me, again, freedom to create what I want. And I want you to have that same freedom. So, whatever art supplies you brought to the table, let that be the art supplies you experiment with tonight. And just have fun. Be mindful of where you are in your head space, where you are in your heart, how you want to interpret those things, and find at least one thing that you could be grateful for. Something that I do love using while busy creating is my essential oils. And most of the times I have a little candle going or a big candle. And as soon as some of that wax has melted, I just drop 1 or 2 drops of whatever blend is current in there. But when we do the virtual gratitude retreat, I do like to use a specific blend, and that blend is sage, frankincense, and jasmine. Now, these together form a really potent air cleansing, heart cleansing blend that just opens you up to creativity and deeper knowledge, and also grounds your emotions in such a way that it doesn't make you feel sad or depressed, but it really calms that central nervous system. Now, jasmine is a very potent essential oil, and I only use a small amount of it. And if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, please don't use jasmine. It's not recommended during pregnancy. But your frankincense and sage is beautiful on its own. But if you want to add that third layer of interest, always remember that sweet orange, orange, or bergamot are beautiful essential oils to add to almost anything. Don't be afraid to add that citrus note to liven up whatever blend you are creating. It's also one of the most affordable oils on the market. Let's switch modes and bring you down to the table where you can see what I'm creating and experience the scene here on my table. I've been asked many times what I have on my table, and right now everything is laid bare, and you can see how messy it can be at times. Over here I have like brush pens, which is part of the things I'm giving away tonight. So I'm giving away one of this 6 Pitt artist pens. It's part of the manga set. Beautiful yellow, orange, red, teal, gray, and a charcoal. We'll test them out just now. I did before. Really amazing colors to work with. And that teal helps to pop those other colors while the neutrals just ground everything else. The other thing I'm giving away is a brand new set of Lyra Rembrandt polycolor pencils. Now, one of the first coloring pencils I used was this brand, and I used only these 4 colors. So I do love and experience that I enjoy working with limited color palettes. These colors have, I mean, you can literally see how short these pencils are, and that I've loved them for quite some time. They are excellent. They lay down beautifully and give you a nice, vibrant color collection. Now, this color here is Delft Blue. This is Pumpernickel Red, which is almost like the Venetian red, which is in the set. And they indicated there where the ochre, no, not ochre, the sienna is used. Then we have here an apple green. And for the life of me, I don't know why I chose this selection of colors. But I've done many things with this. I've done portraiture, I've done landscapes, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And most recently, I've seen an influx of the Lyra colors as they've become popular again. I think mostly because they are so affordable. Let's swatch out this selection of colors. So this is the sienna or ochre. This is the ochre. This is violet, light carmine, and rose madder lake. So there was a request for mushrooms, and we are going to take a look at coloring and drawing and creating interesting, bright mushrooms. So this is one of the other sets I'm giving away. And I'm also giving away my Welcome Home sketchbook journal. So this was my very first journal I published, and it was published in 2021, and it has quotes in. Now, on these quotes, you sort of work on your self-mastery journey, and between the quotes, you have a couple of crispy white, super smooth paper that I've used watercolor on before and all kinds of mediums, but they are especially perceptive to coloring pencils. And the quotes are there to guide you, to help you, to lead you through on this beautiful journey of creativity. And as you go through the book, you'll have guidance, as each of the quotes are designed to get you through another stage, and also to just be there as a friendly reminder to take care of your mind and your creativity simultaneously. So one of the quotes in here says, Sketchbooks are the sacred memory keepers of our brilliant hands and mind. And you can go through all of them at your own pace. There's no rush to go through them. The only thing is, the one I'll be sending the winners won't have this coil binding. It is a regular bound sketchbook or journal that you can use. Now, why I bound this one is after years of opening and closing and opening and closing, mine has finally started falling apart on the spine. So I just took that apart, punched in some holes, and put the coil binding in there. Now, I used to sell them with coil binding, but I don't do that anymore. They are not available as a product. Well, they are available as a product, but I'm not selling them actively because there are only a few of them left. So I'm going to set aside some of these pencils and just put them away. You want to get out my water brush and some of my paint brushes here. And put that away. So are you already settled in and feeling calmer? I hope so. It's really been a wild month again. And I don't know why we do these things to ourselves, where we get so busy and so distracted by everything in life that we almost forget how to really switch off and just give ourselves enough time to rest and recuperate and also live a little bit easier, and just give ourselves enough patience, maybe is the right word, to just see things through and to take care of ourselves while we're doing that, not to overwork and not to sort of overexert ourselves and make things more difficult than it should be. So what goes hand in hand with mushrooms are fairies. And fairies always remind me of the characters in our lives. Now, this month, we've been focusing on the characters in our lives, and I've also helped with some video lessons on how to deal with certain characters, how to sort of help yourself see how you can move past difficult characters and also experience something that is more freer and gives you more access to your emotions. And working in a sketchbook journal with little characters and the flowers and the scenes literally helps you to experience that emotional freedom in a way like nothing else will. I, for a long time, thought that therapy was the only way for us to release anger and resentment and fear and all kinds of things that we struggle to move through in this life. But the thing that helped me the most was reflecting about my feelings inside a journal. Now, I didn't always have the right words to say, but I do know learning how to be kind to my mind, how to be more grateful for the things happening in my life and to see them as not blockages, but rather as learning curves and things I get to experience. None of the things I've experienced, whether it was my brother's early passing or whether it was a friend that just neglected our friendship, or somebody who spread rumors that weren't true. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're having difficulty in your relationships or struggling at work, when you can calm your mind and bring that silence in and also activate the creativity, something magical happens in our brain where you release all the things that don't serve you. You also get to work through those emotions and begin to understand how the puzzle pieces fit together. But you can only do that if you're actively participating in your own healing. And while we are participating in our own healing, miracles can happen. They do happen all the time. And in all those things that occur from day to day, we could learn a little lesson. And we need those lessons so that we don't get stuck or stand in our own way to move forward. Now, having a little relaxation time not only relaxes the mind, it also relaxes the body, and it gives your brain time to think about things and to work through difficult things. Not everything in life is easy, but we can make it easier on ourselves. So, things I like to do to relax my body and my mind is to light a candle, use essential oils, get a warm, nourishing drink, not necessarily always reaching for that strong caffeine kick, but sometimes reaching for cocoa or a tea or a herbal tea that you have straight up as is, no milk added, just maybe sweetened with a little bit of honey or whatever sweetener you prefer. So, I think I've talked enough about how we're going to do this thing today. And maybe we could look at a few images of mushrooms. I did bring a few along that I've done before. So where did I put those pages? There they are. All right. Let's just see if everything is still running smoothly. And we're still on track. Yes. All here. Not a lot of participants tonight or retreat goers. And that's all right. We'll do the replay inside the membership. And I might just sneak in a little bit of the contents to create a shorter little video. So, mushrooms. Let's have a look at the mushrooms. So these are clearly little fantasy mushrooms from the imagination. And in the membership, when you join the membership, you can get this whole set mailed to you in a little gift pack. So the gift pack looks like this, and it's your welcome pack to the sketchbook adventures you're about to take on your journey to self-mastery. The membership name is The Creative's Mindful Way to, well, it's The Creative's Way to Mindful Self-Mastery. And this postcard set is part of your hero's journey. They are mixed up now, but all very relevant on your journey going forward. Now you'll see I love mailboxes and post boxes, especially the old vintage antique kind. I love birds, going outdoors, birds and outdoors, and taking little hidden journeys to see how I can reach my own limitations. And these little mushrooms are reminders along the way that even in the darkest places, beauty can grow, and it can show up in the most, how can I put it, in the darkest, most rotten places. A little mushroom friend can pop up and create a colorful little spot where you can experience life in a whole new way. So let's look at how to create a couple of mushrooms and be playful about that whole process and see how we can incorporate watercolor and coloring pencil to make your pages even more beautiful. So this is a watercolor block that Conrad got for me in Singapore when he traveled there last year. Good paper, not an ideal size. I would have liked them to be slightly bigger, but then again, it is an A4 size. And for today, that would be sufficient. And if I wanted to use that to create a smaller journal like this, I could just take multiple pages, put them together, bind them, put a little cover on, and I have a collection of things I can look back at. There's many lessons in the Self-Mastery membership about how to create a journal. And one of our journals is the aroma journal, where we do aromatherapy blends and creative things to play. Right. So the mushrooms, let's draw a few mushrooms before we paint them. Little sip. I think I might use a color that you will be able to see. Or let's do one better. Let's draw with this one, the warm gray. That is in the set, the warm gray and a indanthrine, what indanthrine? Can't pronounce that word. Maybe when you get your set, you can tell me about that word. Okay, so a little mushroom is nothing more than shapes coming together. And if we start with something simple like these little guys, you'll have a cap, right? That top part of your mushroom, it's curved at the bottom. And before you put that top in, if you want the bottom of the mushroom to show, you'll have to put the stem in first. But let's do one where that isn't showing right away. We give that a little skirt, a little mushroom foot, and a few leafy, grassy bits. Now, to give that little mushroom a frame, we need to either put it to the side, either side, or tuck it in behind. And I think I'm going to tuck the next one in behind and make it slightly bigger. This time, I want the gills to show. So we'll arch it upwards. We'll add in that little skirt there. And we'll close off the gills and add that base with more things. And when you do the gills, you draw it in from the side, reaching into that center. Okay, so this one could have a mixture of colors without the dots or things on it. We could also have little upright ones that look like jellyfish. So those ones would be like a tall oval. You can do 2 or 3 here. And they have like a frilly skirt at the bottom. And then you just connect those together. And then everywhere where it goes up. So see, this is up, up, up. You do little upward marks, a little up there and there, maybe a little one there, and give them like wiggly stems, that, couple of leafy bits, and again some grass, which is just a couple of lines and marks going up and down. All right, then what we can do is maybe create little, let's go for that real fairy tale mushroom. So we can have a nice big cap, and I think I do want the gills to show. I must go around the back. We'll have that stem there. We'll close that and we'll bring those gills in. And then we add the warts and little marks. So that actually comes from the head of the mushroom breaking through the skirt, and that's some of the skirt's leftover things stuck on there. And again, a little bit of grassy stuff. And all we have to do now is add a little bit of color. So we take a nice floppy brush, or maybe let's use the flat brush. It's going to go quick and easy. We'll start with this one, go nice and red, some darker pink maybe. I mean, this is your mushroom. You can do with it whatever you want. If you want to mix up some, oh, that looks good. Mix up some darker colors, or maybe add in a little bit of purple. I should have woken up this palette before we started, but that's what we've got to work with now. And we put some pale yellow here in the bottom. What I like about the artist pitt paints is they are permanent and waterproof, and they are archival. So for those who join tonight, they will be in the running for one of those that I will mail to them as soon as we've made contact and let you know if you were a winner or not. And then you can start enjoying your art supplies. I always love seeing how people create and explore and enjoy their free time instead of just wasting it away in front of the television. I always joke and say that the television is an electronic income reducer. Do those ones in blue. I think I'm going to do purple as well. I mean, these are your little mushrooms. If you want to turn them into real life lookalikes, you are more than welcome to do that. I like to experiment and do a few whimsical things and maybe later decide what I'm going to do with them, how they'll end up, or maybe I'll turn them into ephemera, cut them out, or print them and use them for other projects. But it's lovely to just sit and experiment and play and be a little bit silly and creative without worrying about the outcome. We can make those neutral and plain little mushrooms and give them like orange little dotty effect just to make them look interesting. I'm using that yellow ochre to color them, and then orange in there to bring in interest. And let's use a mixture of that orange and yellow ochre and mute it down with some blue, and then use that dark color underneath. It's a nice way to create a brown, is to take that orange and a really dark blue and create a beautiful neutral. Maybe even give some of those dots a little mark. And then maybe some yellow into that. Just change up the variation. Color that little skirt in. And let's go even bluer and darker for that bottom. So just like that, we created a little neutral mushroom bee and made it interesting. Added some grasses. And you have 3 little mushroom scenes that you can now enhance further with your coloring pencils. Add in some depth, a little bit of shadow and detail, and just play and create until you feel bored or your time runs out, or you just had enough, that you relaxed enough, created enough, and felt fulfilled enough. For some, it takes 15 minutes. For others, it takes 2 or 3 or even 4 hours. So it all depends on how much time you have and why you need that relaxation. Maybe you do need more than an hour today to just unwind at the end of the month and take care of yourself for a change. All right. So I think we are nearing the end of today's session. I do believe that I feel so much better after this relaxing time, and that I trust you also feel so much better. And I think there are many announcements I want to bring to your attention, but maybe you could invite more friends along and help to grow our membership and enjoy your time by adding 1 or 2 or maybe 3 little things every month, just to make sure you enjoy the community and enjoy your friendships inside the community and share freely. We don't have to hide our techniques and have everything under lock and key. There is so many other things we could be worried about, that we don't have to shield our knowledge from the humans we interact with. If they are going to take and plagiarize your work, they're going to do it anyway. And I can promise you that nobody can copy you. And if they do, they can surely not do it as well as you do. That is my 5 cents on that subject. And share and be available for each other. You never know when somebody might have just needed your little quote, your little image, your photo of a frog in the pond, or a sunset that day. Be there for each other. and support one another on all levels. I want to thank you for being part of this community and for being with us tonight. I've had a really lovely, relaxing time. Let's flip the camera so I can say goodnight to you